Welcome back to the Blazor Server In-Depth course. In this lesson, we're going to be looking at layout pages and how we can add new layout pages to our Blazor app and maybe tweak some things or make things a little better for certain pages or a little different for certain pages. All right, so let's go to Visual Studio, create a new project, Blazor app. We'll call this Blazor app as a project name, and the solution name is going to be Layout Demo. Like usual, make sure you have all the selections correct. Hit Create. And now in here, we've seen the main layout. This is the main layout. Let's look at it a little bit closer because we're going to create a new one. In fact, we're going to copy this whole thing because that just makes a little bit of sense there to have a copy of it. That way we don't have to start from scratch. So we have this inherits layout component base. So every Blazor component or page is really just a class, and so we can have some inheritance going on. So we have some layout component base, has some stuff in it for default layouts, and then we inherit from that. So that's really the only thing we have to do for a layout page besides having this at body somewhere on the page. Now let's create a new one. So we're going to create a new Razor page, or Razor component, I'm sorry. So Razor component, and let's call this the simple layout. And I'm putting it in shared so that everyone has access to it. We're going to take out everything on the page, inherits, and that was inheriting from layout component base. And let's say at body. That's it for our layout page. Okay, really simple page. But now we have a second action, and then we have content. So expect to be in these classes, and it's not. So let's tweak it a little bit. Let's make it a little better. We're going to say it's going to be a div with a class equal to main, and then a div with a class equal to content. And now we're going to say that this is the body. We're going to run it again. So once this runs, we'll see what the differences are. There's counter. It looks a little bit more like we expect, only now it's got the full screen though. So now we could create this experience where we have the normal sidebar and top bar layouts with your content in here, but maybe you have a full screen something, whether it's a like some kind of poster or other thing you want to be full screen, or an ad, or I don't know what you want to do. But in there, you can do that. And now it's just for the counter page. Still works just fine. It's just it has the full page here that is nothing but the counter. Now it does make it a little difficult to go somewhere else. You have to know it on the URL. So fetch data. Now it takes us back, but it is possible at least. So let's not get quite so dramatic, but let's create another layout page. So add new item, Razor component, and let's call this weather layout. And we'll paste in the default layout. So this is the default. And let's just tweak a few things here. So this right here, we have a link, but it goes to ASP.NET's docs. Well, what if we did this, where we said it actually goes to weather.com, and we could say weather info, okay? Something like that. Now we're linking to weather.com, and now maybe change this div to have a BG of, like, for a background color, and make the background color, oh, I don't know, secondary. Let's see what that looks like. All right, and let's run this. All right, so now you made some well, it won't really help to make some modifications because we actually haven't used this for anything. So let's go to our fetch data, and at the very top, we just say at layout, and then we're going to use the weather layout. There we go. So it's going to have the navigation still, but it's going to have a couple of tweaks. So we have the About button here, and we have this kind of a gray color. Let's go to Fetch Data. It's a darker gray color. Now it says Weather Info. We click that. It goes to weather.com. So that's kind of nice. We can kind of tweak the pages a little bit more specifically, their layouts at least. Now, will you use this all the time? No, probably not. Probably you won't use layouts very often. You'll use one layout and that'll be it. But there may be times when you want to have a little bit different layout, or you want to compose your basic stuff a little differently for one type of page versus another, and that's where layouts come in really handy. If you find that you're constantly changing layout pages, maybe you have too much in the layout. Maybe those should be in the pages themselves, not in the layout. All right? But this allows you to make some modifications and tweak the different layouts depending on what you want to see per page. All right? So that's what layouts are great for. You can basically design your page the way that you think it should be laid out, and then everything goes in the body section. So it keeps it there. It doesn't have to be changed over and over and over again. All right, so that's it for this lesson. Now it's time to practice what you've learned, practice layouts, give them a shot, because you're going to need to know how to use them for your homework at the very least, if for nothing else. Okay, so make sure you get that going, and then come on back for the section conclusion, which is where we'll build that homework project.